Hello everyone and welcome to another very nice game, also from the Croatian Grand Chess Tour, currently being played in Zagreb. This is round 3 of the Rapid and it is Praggnanandhaa versus Gukesh. In Classical, Gukesh has a positive score against Prag, but only very slightly. He has 3 wins to Prag's 2, and 9 of the games that they played ended in a draw, but in Rapid they are 2 wins each with 0 draws. So what we are expecting going into this one is that we will not be seeing a draw. Let's check it out. It's quite the game. Prag with the white pieces opens with knight to f3. He goes for the Reti, and Gukesh goes for something that I thought a lot about trying out, and I even tried it out in a couple of my games on Lichess. So you don't have to learn openings a lot, and you don't have to watch out what you do with the light square bishop. Is to simply play bishop to g4 right away, and then close the structure, having your light square bishop in the game. It sounds very simple because black in these kinds of openings always has problems with the light square bishop. So maybe if you guys enjoyed, you could also try it. G3, going for the King's Indian attack. Bishop to G4, so developing right away before closing the structure. Bishop to G2, C6, we have pawn to H3, bishop to H5, D4, and pawn to E6. So it looks very natural. The bishop is out, and the dark square bishop will roam in between the light squares. We have castles kingside, knight to f6 with pawn to c4 and the bishop to e7. Knight to c3, castles kingside, and knight to e5. All been played before, nothing new here. For example, Magnus Carlsen defeated Quang Liam Le in this position where knight f to d7 was played. It wasn't the best possible way to continue the game, but what Gukesh plays is he plays knight b to d7, and this is the top move recommended by the engine. This was played in the FTX Crypto Cup of 2022, so hard to say if Gukesh knows and has analyzed this game, but it's Magnus's game, so probably everyone knows about it. We have pawn to g4, bishop to g6, and knight captures on g6. We have h captures and queen to d3. Again, still not in new territory. There is a very nice game, although it was from 2017 Stars Cup, where young Alireza Firuza lost to Ivan Sokolov. Sokolov played, bishop to d6 was played in this game. Sokolov continued with queen to a5. But here we have bishop to d6, and it is now as of move 12 that we have a completely new game. Gukesh plays the top move recommended by the engine with still intact time, 25 minutes on the clock. So who knows how far Gukesh has analyzed this position. And okay, we have rook to d1. As we have a completely new game after bishop to d6, we have rook to e8 and bishop to g5. Okay, nicely pinning the queen. Gukesh unpins, and now bishop back to d2. We have rook a to d8. Gukesh centralizes his rooks, and Prag should just continue with rook a to c1, but he plays pawn to c5, and he runs into some trouble. Because Gukesh plays bishop to h2 with check, which doesn't really look like much, king to h1, and now look at this, e5. A move that should not be possible, yet it is, as your bishop here is hanging. But if you capture the bishop, then the problem is not so much e4. You don't win the queen. Yes, it's check and the queen is attacked because the queen can block with queen to g3. What the problem is captures on d4, and after king to g1 you will go d captures on c3, and after captures knight captures on c5, and this is just a much better position for white, plus also black for black, and also black is up a pawn. So that's one thing. Also, after e5, what could you do? Could you play d captures on e5? Again, not really. You're first going to lose the c5 pawn. After the queen moves, you're going to lose the e5 pawn as well, and very similar, not going to be great for white. So what Prag tried was pawn to e3, and now knight to f8. Gukesh now also starts burning some time. Yeah, it's only to a certain point that you can analyze, in home preparation. Knight to e2, Prag burning much more time, is already down to 8 minutes on the clock, and knight to e6. We have bishop to c3. Here, pawn to b4 is probably best, preparing pawn to b5 as it is in every position. But here, bishop to c3 by Prag, and now Gukesh does have a chance. He can either close the position with pawn to e4, or he can go e captures on d4. The engine prefers closing the position, as the engine always prefers closing the position, but we are not engines. So e captures on d4, bishop captures, and bishop to e5. Offering a trade of dark square bishops. Finally, pawn to b4 from Prague. We have pawn to a5, pawn to a3, and rook to a8, preparing to capture and then do some trades along the a file. So king to g1, knight to d7, and now queen to c3, putting more pressure on that bishop. So finally, knight captures on d4. We have knight captures on d4 and bishop to f6. And here, rook 8 to b1 was played. The best move for Prague is no doubt pawn to b5. And the way you find this move, first you look for pawn to b4. If it's already played, then you look for pawn to b5 next, because it can only be played if the pawn is on b4. But the trick is that after b5, and let's say c captures on b5, you play rook 8 to c1. You defend your pawn, and now it just works. Everything works because the light square bishop is incredibly strong. And if you go rook, let's say e to c8, you want to put pressure on the pawn. g5, you want to try to unpin the bishop so the knight can move and capture on b5. So bishop to e5, but now you just trade. Knight captures on b5, and after everything gets captured, let's say captures, rook captures on c3, you get this position where it's fine for both white and black, but the light square bishop should have an edge here, as it's being played on both sides of the board. So bishops are a little bit stronger than knights. However, after bishop to f6, rook 8 to b1 was played, which also makes sense. You are preparing pawn to b5, and now we have knight to e5 by Gukesh. Better was to capture on b4 first, but okay, pawn to b5 by Prague, knight to c4, and now pawn to a4. Defending on b5, again, makes sense. Rook 8 to c8. If the c file opens up, you want to be ready to capture that c pawn. Queen to d3, and now queen to e7. We have b captures on c6, b captures, and rook d to c1, followed by queen captures on c5. And this is where the magic happens. Gukesh's position is a little bit better. He's up a pawn. His pieces are positioned a little bit better, but he's still not winning. Prague can just play something like knight to f3, and Gukesh still has to work very hard for his meal. But Prague played knight captures on c6. And the idea behind it is, of course, that once the piece is accepted, he wants to play bishop captures on d5, put pressure on whatever captures on c6, and put triple pressure on that knight on c4. But he missed something. What did he miss? What did Gukesh play here? That is the question. Have at it while I give you a couple of seconds. He missed the very straightforward queen captures on c6. And it looks like a move that shouldn't be played. You were probably expecting rook captures, so bishop captures does not come with an attack on the queen. But no, this is the best way to play, and now Gukesh is completely winning because Prague, after capturing on d5, has seen knight e5 on the board, and white queen is also hanging. And you can't just trade and trade because the knight will also be attacking the rooks. Look at this, captures, and if you capture on c8, the rook captures with check, and it's just you're going to be up a full knight, of course, in a completely winning position. So after knight e5, Prague had to go back. He played queen to d1, defended his rook on c1, and now Gukesh just went back. Queen to d7, and he's up a full piece. So is there anything Prague can do as he's down a piece? He's up a pawn, but, he doesn't really have all that many ways that he can use it. He trades on c8 first, rook captures, and now pawn to f4. He has to go all out if he's to do anything. Knight to c6 and pawn to g5. And here, there are many ways to continue the game. The position is winning. You could win it slowly. You could win it quickly. Gukesh decides to end the game on the spot as he plays bishop to d4. And he was in this position on move 38 that Praggnanandhaa resigned the game, as there is nothing more to be done here. So now Gukesh has 3 to Prague's 2 in classical. He has 3 versus Prague's 2 in rapid, and he's doing very, very well in their encounters. And the reason you resign here is that obviously if you capture the bishop, then queen can capture the light square bishop, and you're just down a full knight. The d4 pawn will fall, and you have zero counterplay here. And if you somehow try to keep that bishop with queen f3, then black will force matters. Bishop captures on e3 with check. Again, if you capture, queen captures on d5, so you can move the king. But then comes knight d4, again trying to get you to capture, so black wants to trade pieces. And if queen e4, then of course black goes in for the kill. Rook to c2 with check, king g3, knight e2, check, king h4, and you can play many things, but bishop to f2 is mate in one as the queen covers the g4 square. So yeah, crazy game. Really liked how both of them played, but I believe this was just well executed preparation by Gukesh, and then followed up by some incredible moves. So yeah, that's the game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We're gonna cover some other games from the first 3 rounds as well. If you have any favorites, use that hashtag suggestion. I would like to thank Andre Schade, Johan Kron, James Anderson, Guillermo Ishmael Garcia Borges, and Phil Bauer for a contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot. I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon, continuing to check up on your wonderful suggestions and whatever else happens in the chess world. Thank you all. I will see you soon, and have an excellent rest of your day.